Hi, and thanks for joining for the October edition of the Fireside Chat. We had a few questions submitted this month, so we'll dive right in. First question, the apartments still have the old box used for the old nurse call system in each unit. Will these ever be taken out? It's my understanding that we will take those out at some point, but I do not have a definite date for you for that. This question came late enough to me that I was not able to talk to Troy Wingfield. He's on vacation this week, so I don't have a definite answer on that. But it has always been our intention to take them out. I think things just keep jumping in front of us that are more important or more critical. So it's not off the radar screen, but it has taken a back seat. We'll try to get that addressed as soon as we can. Next question was, can you tell us a little bit about political signs on our campus? I'd be glad to. As a 501c3 tax-exempt charity, Still Hopes is not allowed to do anything political to advertise for one campaigner over another or one party over another. So if we put up political signs on our campus, the ground that we own, or the buildings that we own, then we are required to invite every candidate for every office to come and bring their signs. We've made the decision long before I ever got here to not do that on this campus. So that does mean that we can't display any of those signs. So for those folks who live in apartments or cottages, you can't use the signage to advertise for your political candidate, either on your balconies, on your patios, at your front door, in your yard if it's a cottage, or out in the grounds if you're living in an apartment, without putting us in jeopardy with our 501c3. And that's how we don't pay property taxes and other taxes, and it matters a lot to us. So we really just can't use political signage at Still Hopes. Next question that was submitted was, the numbers and letters in the parking spaces are faded and hard to read. Do we plan to repaint? We have been on that campaign before. Our issue becomes finding a time when the car is not in the space so that we can paint it, but we do need to take care of that. I've noticed the same thing, and we'll try to figure out a plan to get that done. Next is a question about a specific event at the Evergreen apartment building last Sunday. The fire department was called because of a fire inside a microwave created from someone using the microwave to try to decontaminate their newspaper based on the coronavirus. So first I'd say that's a bad idea. Don't put your newspaper in the microwave. But second, the conversation had to do with the fire department seeming to have trouble coming into our building. That's caused quite a bit of investigation from my side, as I've had a witness tell me that it took the firemen several minutes to gain access to the building. And I found that very confusing because the doors to our building are in complete compliance with the Fire and Life Safety Code, and firemen should be able to access through those doors in a matter of 2 or 3 seconds, not 2 or 3 minutes. So discovery along the way. There are 2 different groups of firemen who came to the building. The first ones who came to the building entered the building in less than a minute. Another group came in several minutes after that, and it did take them several minutes to get in. They seemed to be bewildered by the doors instead of understanding how to use those. I've talked with the fire marshal, who has also talked with the fire chief, and they'll be doing some training with their staff to be sure that they understand how to do that. And do it quickly. We do have video footage of all of that, so we know exactly what transpired on that day and exactly to the second how long it took for the firemen to gain entry. And we're going to also provide that footage to the fire department so they can use that for training with their own guys. I was also asked a question or is actually said, you should tell people to exit the building in case of a fire. If you're able to come out of the building, that is the best idea. Our firemen, every time that our fire chief and fire marshal have come and talked to us and to y'all, they have said that they're fine with you going to the stairwell and waiting if that's what works best for you. So again, come out of the building if you're able. If you're not able, move to the stairwell. But whatever you do, move. Get to a safer place than just assuming that there's nothing wrong. Also was asked about talking about, and I know we've just put in the red lights in each of the stairwells of the apartment buildings, but talk about that a little bit. So we've installed lights there so that when the fire alarm goes off for your building, those lights come on, and they're in the stairwells, and they're pretty easy to see. And if you're in the stairwell waiting for an all clear to be sounded, the all clear that you will get first now, and it's the easiest one to get, especially at nighttime when we have fewer staff here, is that red light in the stairwell will go off. So if that red light turns off, that is your all clear signal that the fire alarm is over, that the event is over, and that you can move back to your apartments. If you're outdoors, you wouldn't be able to see that red light, and you'll still be looking for someone to tell you. Do understand that especially in the evenings and especially on weekends, there are fewer of us here, and it will take us a little longer to get to you to tell you that. Had a question about what's happened to the alternative meals, that lately they've only seen a cheeseburger, and since some people don't eat meat, that's a question mark for them. Andy was asked to provide an answer for that and said that he's added a salad every day because many of the residents were asking for that, and that any of those salads can be prepared with or without the protein. Another question had to do with when will the screens be returned to our windows. We're used to sleeping with the windows open and miss the screens. The answer that I received from Environmental Services there was that in their opinion, they believe they had replaced all the screens. So they know who asked the question specifically and are following up with them, but if you still have a screen off your window, we believe they're all back on, so you need to let somebody know that with a work order or with a phone call. Just let us know so that we can understand where we have a screen missing here or there. A couple things that I wanted to let you know, that's the end of the questions that I got, but a couple things I wanted to also let you know. We have just begun outdoor visitation at our assisted living and skilled nursing neighborhoods, so family members who have not been able to visit other than through a closed window with any of their family members for months now are able to visit outdoors. DHEC has set that up. They have put lots of limits on it, so the visits are limited to 15 minutes. The visits have to be fully monitored by staff, and those things are a little bit difficult for us to do, but we have managed to put together plans for visits for 3 days out of the week. We visit on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. On Mondays and Wednesdays, there's a morning time and an afternoon time that runs several hours. And on Saturdays, the visit time is in the afternoon. Construction-wise, let me bring you a little bit up to speed. So on the 5th and 4th floors, that's the top 2 floors of the building, we now see that closets are being detailed out, which means all of the shelving and racks are being installed in the closets. The painting is pretty much done on that floor. Trim is all installed, all the doors are up, all the trim is in, the water, the electric is all hooked up and working. Heating and air conditioning are all working. Kitchens and baths are fully installed. And the whole building is still set to finish sometime in late January of next year. On the 1st floor, there's some common space there. There's a new dining venue, a living room. There's also a petite studio that goes with the Wellness Center program, and there's a cafe. All of those areas get more finish, so it takes a little bit longer to finish them out. So while they are working on the 3rd floor, they also have a crew that's already on the commons areas of the 1st floor beginning to finish that so that it will all finish at the same time that the rest of the 1st floor finishes. That's all the questions I have and all the information I have to share. I thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a great month, and we'll see you again next month. Thank you.